Beberapa waktu yang lalu, kami baru saja menyelesaikan dan upload video rekap GIAFS 2025. Dan seperti yang kalian lihat di video itu, ada banyak sekali eksibitor yang datang dan akhirnya kami tidak sempat untuk interview semuanya satu persatu. Tapi sesuai janji yang ada di video itu juga, kami ada beberapa pembahasan menarik yang menurut kami layak untuk dibikin video sendiri. Salah satunya kita akan bahas kali ini, yaitu dari Tasindo ada produk Trinnov. Nah, kami juga sangat berharap sebenarnya produk ini tuh akan ada di showroom kami yang baru nanti. Jadi mudah-mudahan ini bisa jadi preview atas fitur-fitur yang nanti bisa kalian lihat di showroom kami. Oke, tanpa perpanjang-panjang lagi, kita langsung aja lihat videonya.
Holiday season is here. Saatnya beli hadiah untuk orang tersayang atau juga untuk diri sendiri. Bingung mau beliin pasangan kamu apa? Jangan khawatir. Dengan transaksi di Logisonic selama bulan Desember, kamu akan mendapatkan skincare import untuk pasangan kamu. Karena ini adalah holiday promo, speaker for him, skincare for her. Dengan belanja amplifier, speaker, atau subwoofer yang ikut dalam promo ini, kamu langsung mendapatkan bonus skincare import seharga hingga 1,3 juta rupiah untuk orang tersayang yang sudah di gift wrap dengan cantik. Jadi bisa langsung kamu berikan sebagai hadiah Natal untuk pasangan kamu atau boleh juga untuk dipakai sendiri. Promo ini berlaku selama bulan Desember dan persediaan terbatas. Kunjungi website kami sekarang di www.logisonic.id untuk memilih sistem terbaik kamu dan dapatkan hadiahnya sekarang juga, atau hubungi kami di nomor yang ada di layar untuk informasi lebih lanjut. Oke, Sobat Hi-Fi, kita lagi ada di ruangan Tasindo dan tepatnya kita sekarang lagi bersama Arnaud dan kita akan ngebahas Trinnov. Hi, Arnaud, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you
Great.
for letting us sit down and talk about the products that you're bringing today.
My pleasure.
Okay, so as far as I understand, there's a new product coming, or there's a new product launching in Indonesia, right? Can you tell me more about the product?
Absolutely. Do you want me to introduce a little bit about Trinnov?
Sure, yeah.
Just contextualize.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so even though we're here to present an AV processor, Trinnov is primarily known and focused on sound processing.
Right.
So we're a technology company, but it turns out that our technology are sold. Our business is to sell our technology through our own products. That's the decision we made, just a little bit like Apple, even though I don't have the arrogance to compare ourselves to Apple.
Okay.
We're not Apple, certainly not. But we make both the hardware and the software to make sure that we get the level of quality we want as far as our technology are implemented.
Right.
So our job really is to take this microphone you've got here. I don't know if you can see it in the frame, but that's the iconic object that really identifies Trinnov as a company. That's what we put in any room with speakers to measure the entire loudspeaker systems and make sure that it blends and integrates properly into the acoustic environment. We do that in studios, we do that in commercial cinemas, and we do that in residential space.
Right.
Our background is pro. That's where we have most of our clients. Our clients include the likes of Skywalker Sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the studios of George Lucas, where they do the post-production and the soundtrack of many blockbuster movies that we all watch and love. Since last year, Park Road Post as well, Peter Jackson in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They just mixed Avatar 3 as an example right there.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
So yeah, we have a number of references, including a lot that we unfortunately cannot publicly mention.
Okay.
But that's really where we come from. We operate at a very high level of performance, and the same goes with home theater. Formerly, before the introduction of this product, we were really in the super high-end space as far as home cinema is concerned with our former product, Altitude 32, Altitude 16, high-end AV processor, up to 32 outputs with traditional analog outputs. So the DACs are built into the processor. With the Altitude CI, which is our new baby, we take a slightly different approach. It's not a replacement product, it's a complementary product. It's much more compact than any regular AV processor you would see on the market, because we've made the decision to make it almost fully digital. And it's got multiple benefits. I say almost fully digital because it also has 8 analog outputs.
Oh, okay.
It's got 8 analog outputs, which means that if you are new to the home theater space and you just discover this new hobby and you fall into that trap,
Right.
and, which is a beautiful passion to have. So it's a good trap. And you start with, let's say, 7.1 or even stereo hi-fi system. You can start with the 8-channel version with 8 analog outputs that will be compatible with a traditional power amplifier or even active subwoofers like these Escando 16 inches. So these are the perfect example of why we implemented the 8 analog outputs, because we don't need converters to go straight into active subwoofers like those.
Yeah.
Why 8? Because we have special technologies in our portfolio, which intends to optimize the bass response across a larger seating area, because that's a massive problem that everybody faces in small rooms for home theaters.
Yes, with modes and everything.
Yeah, so that technology is called waveforming, and we usually use multiple subwoofers, a minimum of 4, all the way up to maybe, 8 would be already kind of the top.
Yeah.
So 8 outputs.
I think I've tried 2 systems with Trinnov, and all the time the bass response is always amazing. Yeah, it's always very clear, very, very clear.
Right. Yeah. That's what we do. That's really our level of expertise. So and anyway, above that you would have to use some of the digital outputs.
Right.
So we've got 2 options: ASCBU, which is
ASCBU.
the regular digital
stuff.
audio,
Yep.
or audio over IP.
Audio over IP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means that we shift from traditional audio, both analog and digital, to networked audio.
Interesting.
So instead of transmitting audio through a single cable, point to point, we just plug one Ethernet cable to a switch.
And then
And then the audio is distributed any way we want to any other audio over IP device.
That's interesting. Any particular protocol that you're using?
We use both. Well, this product is unique in many ways, and as far as audio over IP is concerned, it's unique because it supports 3 protocols: Ravenna, AS67, and Dante, all into the same product.
That's almost all.
Yeah, that's to increase compatibility with various products, because we don't want someone with this processor to have to choose for compatibility or convenience. We have our own preference depending on the application, but we just thought, okay, let's implement both.
Right.
The power amplifier here was released a few years ago with analog inputs.
Right.
It's got now a Dante input board to be compatible with the Altitude CI.
So it's just one cable to each.
Yeah, one cable to get 16 channels, and of course you can multiply the number of amplitude 16 to increase the number of amplification channels, because that little box here, believe it or not, can go from 8 all the way to 64 outputs.
What? Really?
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly accurate, from 8 to 32, but with the same form factor, same chassis, we would have to put a bigger audio over IP board and bigger CPU. But the same chassis could deliver up to 64 outputs.
So that
would be for dubbing stages, like the one I told you about, the mixing rooms where they mix a Dolby Atmos theatrical soundtrack.
Right. Does it mean that this is upgradable, or is actually a different product within the 16 and the 64?
Did you read my mind? That's great. So audio over IP was designed for pro audio application.
Right.
And we've supported Dante in our pro division since 2018 or something, so it's not new to us at all. And we've been kind of hesitant to bring this into the home theater space because we don't believe that it's perfectly appropriate for consumer applications. If you think about it, I mean, the benefit of using a network to transport audio is flexibility and scalability.
Yes, of course.
So let's say you've got the Olympic Games or large sporting events where you need to broadcast a lot of audio signals across the world. Fantastic.
Right.
But if you're within the small environment of a home theater with 7.4.4, like the demo we have here at the Jakarta show, it's not a lot of channels. I mean. So the benefit is still one cable, less expensive than high-end XLRs, 14 of them, or more. But on the other hand, with traditional audio, you don't have to go into the switch and router and configure networking, because it's one thing to be into audio and video, it's another to be into IT and computers.
That's true.
So now we need to be both. We need to manage both. But yeah, we just figured, okay, let's make it relevant for the consumer space, and let's turn this what we consider to be kind of a downside, because one of the downside, as an example, for the audiophiles who are listening to us, is that with audio over IP, you will have to sync all the devices that are connected to this audio network to the sampling rate of the audio network.
Yes. Yeah.
And traditionally it's 48 kilohertz, because in the pro world, the sampling rate doesn't change.
Yeah.
You mix content in 48 kilohertz as an example, which means that all the devices are synced to the same sampling rate, and it's fine. But when you're in a hi-fi environment, you're going to play back 96 kilohertz music material or 192 kilohertz. And using audio over IP means that you're going to downsample everything to the sampling rate of the audio network. So that's one downside, and one of the reasons why we think it's not necessarily appropriate for everyone in hi-fi and home theater. That's why we just thought, okay, how we can make it matter and how can we kind of compensate for this downside. And we were just thinking, okay, the scalability, what else does it offer? Well, more flexible pricing structure. Because up until now, let's say you're into home cinema and you have a 7.1 system, so you're gonna have a 7.1 AV processor.
Yes.
Let's say tomorrow you want to either add more subwoofers or add speakers on the ceiling to be Atmos compatible. Then you have to sell your AV processor that is only 7.1.
Yeah. We throw it and then we buy a new one.
And buy a new one, which is going to be 12 or 16 channels, because you really have very fixed configuration currently available on the market. Which means you need to think hard, okay, if I go 12 now, but maybe I want...
Yeah, the decision to...
I'll have to set it again and buy. Okay, so I'm going to buy something that I don't need now. Put more money up front.
Yes.
So that I don't lose.
It's a painful experience, right? Having to decide that.
It is. I mean, and it's not very current. I mean, we're in 2025. We shouldn't think that way. We should buy durably.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And that's our approach. So our background with home cinema AV processor, with the Altitude 16 and 32, by the way, has been all about durability and sustainability. Our flagship was released in 2014, so more than 10 years ago. And every single year we've released major software feature. Like, remember DTSX when it was introduced?
Yeah, the DTSX, yeah.
DTSX delivered free of charge to all of our clients. DTSX Pro delivered free of charge to all of our clients, because we implement everything ourselves in the software. Think Tesla or BYD, more popular these days, especially around here.
Yeah.
They kind of disrupted the car industry because it's very software driven and you get a lot of updates, and we do the same with AV processors.
Which is very interesting because you brought it up, right? A lot of companies, I wouldn't name them, but when they move to the more digital domain, more to a software approach, it's usually to sort of like lock everything down and sort of like hide it behind a paywall. It's really refreshing for me to see that I think Trinnov is doing, the sort of like buy it for life thing, because it's a free update, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've delivered those updates. I mean, last year we delivered waveforming free of charge to all of our users.
That's free of charge.
That was 6-7 years of research, so a lot of money.
This is refreshing.
But it's long-term value. It matters to us. So with this, we just thought, okay, let's do it again. Let's redefine the perceived value of a processor and the way people think about a purchase.
Right.
Either I look at a purchase between two products, I compare the specification face to face, and I think now and not over the long term. We're trying to change that and ask people, okay, it's an important purchase, not a cheap product. And that's something you're going to be able to experience every day. So first of all, think about quality and the performance. The performance, we guarantee it, whatever the acoustic environment where you're going to install your speakers or your room is, because that's what we do with our calibration system. So by embracing the Trinnov ecosystem from the start, you're going to get an uplift in performance. So that's already a good reason to just think about it. Right. Second, yes, let's say compared to top of the line mainstream AV processors, there's going to be a couple $1,000 difference.
Okay. Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
So it's not. We're not dismissing the fact that it's not mega affordable. But if you think of it long term, the fact that you're not going to lose money when you sell it 2 years down the line because you want to upgrade your system, or because it's going to get free update, and whereas the other product may be completely limited, and you would throw it to the bin because the next upcoming technology cannot be implemented.
Yes.
It makes you think twice. Back to the pricing model, it comes as 8 channel. So let's repeat the scenario we had before. You start with 7.1, you want to add speakers on the ceiling. Well, instead of selling it and buying a new one, you just place a phone call to Sindo or their dealer in Indonesia, and you tell them, I want 4 more outputs.
Right.
And you pay them, we load them into your processor, and you're good to go.
Load them like digitally or hardware?
Yes. So we've rewritten entirely our extranet backend ecosystem so that every serial number, the processor connects to our server, and we can assign the license to them.
Right.
And and once it's done, you start the Trinnov app on your, Apple or Windows computer, and it will show you 4 licenses available, install, done.
Interesting. So each license is basically for 1 channel, is it?
2 channel.
Two channels.
Incrementally 2 channels by 2 channels from 8 to 64.
That's interesting. And that's a one-time purchase, is it? Or
well, you can start with the hardware in 8, in 2 years buy 2, in 4 years buy another 4. It's completely flexible.
You don't have to keep paying for that.
Oh no, there's no subscription.
Right? So it's only one time.
Yeah, no subscription.
Which is again very refreshing.
Pay for what you need, and that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how many maximum channels?
32 with the base model.
32 with the base
and
model.
with just a few modifications inside the unit. Like I said, bigger processor, bigger audio over IP board, all the way up to 64.
Okay. So because this already have like 8 analog outputs, right? So when we use the digital output, can we redirect everything to the digital, or do we have to use the analog?
You can. Well, that's the beauty of it. You have 8 analog outputs, up to 32 digital outputs, up to 32 Dante outputs, and you can use them any way you want.
Oh.
So the process is that you will start the processor, you will connect everything, and you will be taken through a new user interface, which has a configuration wizard. So step by step, you just have to follow the instructions. You first have to declare all the speakers. Okay, I've got left, center, right, surrounds, back surrounds, X number of overhead speakers plus Y numbers of subwoofers. Once you've made the declaration, the next step is to route the audio signals to the correct output, or to be more accurate, associate the speaker to the right physical output.
Okay.
So for subwoofers in that example here, we have output, I don't remember, maybe 15 to 18 or something, whatever, it doesn't matter. Analog, 1, 2, 3, 4. And every other speakers, we select Dante, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I see. So the routing process is basically, it's because there's a routing process, then we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, completely freely assignable.
That's very interesting.
We support every possible speaker channel from all the available formats. We support X number of, so it's completely flexible.
So that's the thing, right? Because when you talk about channels, it's not like the other products where it's basically a set kind of like, oh, yes, we are an 11.4 AV processor. That means, the 11 is very defined. It has to be in a certain position, and you only have 4 LFE channels. So when you're talking about channels, it really is like super flexible.
Yeah, as it should be. No, really. Because, CI stands for custom integration, by the way. So we consider that there's the retail channel, the traditional hi-fi, who think about products. They're going to sell you a product. Custom integration is about, providing solutions.
Correct, yeah.
And that involves paying attention to the environment of the client and taking the constraints into consideration. So, let's say your room is cut in half and you don't have the space to put the rear surrounds and the overhead behind you, then maybe you want to declare and different channels because you can't fit the speakers that you would normally do because of the geometry and architecture of your room. So that's why we have that flexibility. But
Right.
flexibility really runs in our vein. We want our product to be as flexible as possible. That's our pro background.
That's really cool. Just wondering one thing, because there's Dante, there's all this digital aspect to it. Any chance, I'm not sure, but of using it as more of like a custom integration kind of thing instead of a home theater, meaning that, maybe someone has a restaurant, or maybe someone can this work as a multiple like stereo system, or maybe like
Not yet. That's definitely something we're considering. But at the moment, the architecture, the software is, our background is really dedicated rooms, high performance. But now with this software model, of course, it would make a lot of sense to have multiple rooms and multiple. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
we'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, correct me if I'm wrong. So, you use network, right, between this and this. So it has to go to a switch, or right now it's sort of like a point-to-point model.
You can do both. So that's the other thing we've done. So just to try to keep it quick, audio over IP can be quite complicated, but it also can be quite simple. If it's simple, everybody's happy. If it's complicated, good luck, because troubleshooting a problem on an audio over IP network, you're already deep into the problem, because you need to know what a PTP clock is, what quality of service is.
IGMP, Snoopy,
Really, I know. I see. You know what you're talking about. Yes, and not everybody wants to do this. So, again, custom integration, network driven. So there's actually 3 network ports at the back of this unit. There's multiple network interfaces because there are multiple devices inside the box, and we've got different network modes. By default, the 3 ports are like a switch.
Right.
So whatever you plug into any of these ports, and you could even use it as a switch.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite nice.
Okay.
That would work like here, because there are not many network devices. There's not a lot of traffic on the network, which means that there's enough bandwidth for the audio to play back without interruption, without quality of service, and without strict control of how the IP packets are transmitted over the network. But let's say you're in a bigger house with tons of smart objects. You have multiple kids watching videos all day long.
Every single light bulb connects to the Wi-Fi, to the network.
That could be a lot of traffic, and if you do it that way, then you may experience dropouts on your audio. In which case, you want to go to a managed switch and maybe isolate the audio over IP traffic. And if you don't want to do this, you can do it straight from here, because one of the network modes is to isolate the different ports. So one port would be dedicated to being connected to the rest of the network, so we can access it if we want to remotely log into the unit to help you and troubleshoot the product, or if you want to run software update through that port. And then you could have a second port isolated from the rest of the network, connected straight to the power amplifier. So it's like it's got its own VLAN built in.
It's a VLAN built in. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
That makes life easy.
Okay, just I guess one last question, which is sort of like a bonus question. Not sure, but I think last year or this year, Google announced their new
Immersive format.
Right? I think with Samsung called the Eclipse. Any chance of? I'm not sure what is traction right now. I'm not seeing anything in Indonesia, to be honest. But any plans for that in the future for Trinnov?
We've spoken to them when they started the initiative, and honestly, we've been too busy to follow up. But I can say one thing is that, just like for Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, or 3D, IMAX Enhanced, the benefit we have is that for heavy processing duty, which means processing up to 64 channels with very advanced algorithm without downsampling, we need a lot of CPU. And to have a lot of CPU these days, the most cost-effective way to do that is just to use a computer.
Right.
So there is a computer fully dedicated to processing. That's all it does. It receives audio, it runs the processor and the RAM and everything just to process audio at the highest possible resolution, 64 bits floating point, just like in mastering studio, and then it goes back to the audio boards, etc. The other benefit is that we can implement everything directly as a software. So let's say Dolby tomorrow launch a new format or this format. What's the normal way for most manufacturers out there to be compatible?
Release a new product.
So but why? Because the Google and Samsung or this consortium group of companies, they will talk first to OEM manufacturers. Right. So those who basically sell boards with a feature set that will be then integrated into a chassis by manufacturers. Right. Yeah. Because that's what we do with HDMI as an example. We don't do the HDMI implementation ourselves. It's not our expertise. It's too complicated. Nobody does actually.
Right. Yeah. Nobody does.
It's just way too complex.
Yeah.
But we do way more than most other speaker manufacturers do. And as a matter of fact, we are the only one who don't rely on OEM partners for the decoding. Everybody else, they buy a chipset or a board that does the Dolby Atmos decoding, the DTS:X decoding, which means they don't implement it themselves.
Right.
We implement it ourselves on an x86 architecture.
x86. Okay.
Which is traditionally where...
It's more of a general computing thing.
Which is where most of the new format developers start their prototyping.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that originally for the format developers, they are also using the software solution, the software approach.
The prototyping, etc., is made pure in software, and then of course they're going to have prototyping hardware board, and But we're the ideal candidate for first to market release.
It's just,
and that's why, and that's why we were first to market with Dolby Atmos above 12 channels. If you remember when Dolby Atmos was first introduced,
it's very
714 was what
so
everything could do.
Yeah.
And we released 32 channels in 2014. And as of today, I think there's only a second manufacturer who supports 32 channels, and they could only do this last year because an OEM manufacturer did it.
Right. So they're limited with the
we had 10 years. DTS:X Pro, we were first. IMAX Enhanced, we were amongst the first, because then there's also business strategy. We're not consumer market. We're kind of the ideal partner to demonstrate the superiority of a technology when it comes to high channel count and high resolution because of our platform. So I can't say that we will do that every time. As an example, we haven't implemented MPEG-H or Sony 360 because we haven't had the time, and we considered that there's not enough material yet. So we just have to make our choices. And to get back to your point, as of today, it's completely unclear where these format may be deployed and how it may be implemented.
But you guys
I would expect YouTube. If it's Google, if it's Google behind it, I mean, having them relying on their own format would make sense, because then they don't have to pay any license or royalties. I'm thinking out loud here. In which case, we will have to, and we will. As simple as that. Once it becomes relevant, we do it.
Anyway, you guys are prepared, right? That's something it's very possible to do. It's just a matter of whether you want to do it or not.
Well, whether we can consider it a priority versus everything else we have to do, because we're still a relatively small company doing way too much on our own. But that's our strength and weakness. Let's put it this way.
That's very cool.
But I mean, just to give you an example about the durability of the platform, the previous platform, which the Altitude 16 and 32 are based on, will receive the exact same user interface that we've completely redesigned, again free of charge, later this year, the beginning of next year. So you have to imagine people who bought a processor more than 10 years ago,
then
they've had major updates every year, and now they're just getting a completely new user interface.
Yeah, that's where you're different from Apple.
Maybe.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but we don't sell millions of devices.
Yeah,
so
you don't have to.
We don't have the same constraints. And we don't have any shareholders to please either. So
that's true. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anything else you want to share before we close?
No, I think I think we covered a lot already, and I'm sorry because I can't stop talking. Once
No,
I
I
start.
mean, this is really cool. This is very interesting for all our audience as well. So thank you so much, Arnaud, for having your time with us.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe after this, if you have time, then we can do a bit of a demo.
Oh, sure,
It's okay.
absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Alright, thank you, Arnaud.
Thank
Oke, kita lanjut ke sesi demo.
This is the original.
Oh,
We love people.
I have to check if there's a speaker just right above me because it sounded like, you know,
So it's 7.4.4.
it's really cool.
Nah, itulah dia interview kami dengan Mr. Arnaud Destinay dari Trinnov. Seperti yang kami bilang di awal, Trinnov ini menjadi salah satu produk yang kami harap bisa kalian rasakan di showroom baru kami di Logisonic. Jadi, nantikan terus update showroom terbaru kami di Logisonic. Buat kamu yang juga penasaran atau mungkin pengen tahu lebih lanjut tentang produk Trinnov, itu bisa hubungin kami ya di 0811 899 5380. Plus, jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan aktifkan tombol loncengnya supaya kamu tidak ketinggalan update-update video